Good morning. Thank you for joining me again. This is the Shiitake News, and I'm happy to be here. Valentine's Day, we just wrapped it up. I'm happy to announce that I got a ton of chocolates, so I'm really happy. I'm sad to announce that I've eaten more than half of them, and it's past midnight. So you do what you can. But I had no choice. They're delicious. I love chocolates. All right, let's get it all started. First off, let's go with I got four articles I want to talk about today. First up is the Democratic primaries. I am having fun watching them. I think they're interesting. There's a lot of things I didn't know. Some things I'm not happy about. Not that Bernie or Pete are up in the lead, but I don't like that. Even though he doesn't have any delegates, he's Mike Bloomberg is still in the race, and I guess he made a huge donation, and they changed some of the rules for him, and I just feel like the primaries are kind of shady. I remember Hillary winning, and I was pretty sure Bernie had the most backing and the most votes and the most everything, but for some reason he didn't win because I guess super delegates mean a lot to them. But we'll see how that goes. Right now, Pete's in the lead, and then Bernie's in second place, even though he has again more people than Pete. And then third, we got Warren, and then Amy, and then Joe. I think Joe's done. I don't feel like he really tried from the get go. I think he was riding on Obama's coattails. I mean, Obama was did a good job, and I mean his at least his image is pretty positive, and I think Joe was counting on that to carry him over the finish line. But no, I think he's done. I think he should have dropped out a bit ago. Now Bernie's in the lead, but Bernie has a lot of trouble because his Ohio staff and a lot of people that work for him had to close their accounts down, their social medias, because they were saying things that they believe that are really controversial. Like they were talking about putting conservatives in re-education camps and this and that. And you can't control who you hire, or you can to a point. But Bernie's not at fault here. But he should be chastised for not denouncing them or firing them or doing anything like that. He just hush is the word, or mum's the word, and swept it under the rug and hope nobody asked him about it. But Trump's just gonna hammer him as if he wins the nomination. So I don't know why he's prolonging this issue. I wish he would deal with it now and get that out of the way. But he thinks it's something he should be waiting for. And there was two recent issues that have come up. One is violence against conservatives, or at least Trump supporters. There was one that somebody ran a van into a tent, and there wasn't much news on it. I feel like there would be more coverage on it. And then the other was some degenerate manhandling some kid, slapping him around, whatever. He's a 15-year-old kid. No reason to be hitting him, especially if there was no confrontation. It's just him being upset the fact the kid was supporting Trump. And that seems like it deserves more coverage as well. But, let Trump cover it, because I'm sure he's going to use that for his campaigns. And rightfully so, because if the media is not going to say something about it, who else is? Now, I do got to give credit to the local media. So like a lot of the local news companies, that they are reporting all these details. It's just not on the national level, for obvious reasons. Everybody has their opinions already about why these things are happening. But I would keep an eye on that. Biden's trouble with the supporters and with the staff. Because Pete seems to be like the safe bet. But Pete is... I've talked about people around here in Japan, like, oh, did you know that one of the front runners is Pete? And they heard him talk, and they watched his appearance, and they chuckled. They're like, he's running for president? I was like, yeah, he has every qualification as far as what's required to be president. He's of age, he this and that. And everybody said, he doesn't come off as a president. He comes off as a Boy Scout. Trump's gonna destroy him. Trump comes off at least as a man. Pete comes off as a man in training, I guess, which is funny because the Japanese are very, very, very conservative about their opinion. Normally, they don't tell you exactly what they think, but they were pretty vocal about poor old Pete. Bernie, he had some fire behind him, but I think most people won't vote for a socialist. Some of his ideas have changed, and his new change isn't for the better. So, we'll see how that goes. I like watching this. It's exciting. I wonder if the super delegates are going to make a big difference. People are complaining that the electoral college is wrong because it doesn't take into account the popular vote. But for some reason, for the primaries, then it's okay, I guess. You don't need the popular vote to be number one in the primaries, but we'll see how that goes. Either way, I think all four of them or five of them could make one team and debate. All five can debate Trump at once, and Trump would probably still mop the floor with all of them, except Yang. I think Yang had some pretty cool ideas that Trump might have stumbled upon, but yep, it is what it is. Hopefully this clears up, and then there's a clear front runner, and people can start preparing for this crazy election that's coming up. All right, moving on. Next news. So after the Democratic primaries, I want to talk about the coronavirus. It's called COVID-19, and it's looking bad. My advice is that you take precautions and take care of yourself. Buy whatever supplies you can, especially disinfectant. It can still get through your eyes, through your eyeballs. It can actually infect you through there. So if you wear a mask, it's only covering part of what could get you sick. It's airborne as well. So there's a lot of things that are rough about it, especially how long it needs to be incubated, like almost 24 days before you can tell if somebody really has it or not. So if somebody thinks they're sick, they might have been sick for a while already, getting other people sick. You might get people sick even though you show no signs whatsoever. And that's scary. I live in a huge city. I live in Tokyo, and every single day when I ride that subway, I make sure I don my mask, and make sure you wear the right mask, and you wear it the right way. And try not to touch as many things as some of like the escalator or hand guards or handrails, and keep yourself safe. If you're safe and you're prepared, then somebody who might need help can rely on you. It's the best you can do. There's 5,000 new cases, so it doesn't look like it's peaked yet. This is some nurses that are shaving their heads, so you see that they cut their hair off to prevent the spread of the disease, which is outstanding. Kudos to them. I tip my hat to them. Hair is overrated. But take care of yourself. If you haven't bought any masks, buy them. Keep them, store them, keep them somewhere safe. If you don't use them, you just at least have a story that, I was kind of worried and I bought some masks. If you do need them, you have them handy. If you have kids, or if you have family, or if you have loved ones that you know they're not going to prepare, there's no hurt, there's no damage in being prepared. So my advice is get ready. Buy something to sanitize, something to keep yourself healthy. And you never know how these things turn out. All you can do is hope for the best. Next up is, we got this one, fit over cash. Real key to being happy. Now, they're talking about just being happy. And I can agree with this article when you consider the just being happy. It doesn't say, because a lack of money causes stress. But when you do have money, it doesn't make you happy. It just relieves the stress. It's not like you're just not as stressed as you normally would be, which usually means you're bored or you're still unhappy. But I think if you take care of the money, if you're comfortable with money and you still don't feel happy, I think you should consider trying to stay in shape. I mean, you see a lot of older individuals, senior citizens who have the means to they have money, they're comfortable, but they're not happy because they can't move around as much as they used to, or they can't do the things they wish they could. So there's a lot to be said about that. So keep yourself healthy. It's better to have a fit body, I guess, rather than a thicker wallet. But I mean, you don't want to have an empty wallet, of course. But yeah, I agree with this article. When I moved to Tokyo, I got rid of my car because there was no need for it. Tokyo, it's inconvenient to have a car. But everywhere I went, I was standing or walking around, and it tires you, and you can't enjoy yourself as much. So even when I went to things to enjoy, like a festival or a picnic or something along the sorts, cherry blossom picnics, I would feel tired from the commutes and exhausted, and it just took some of the fun out of it. So nowadays I'm really fit. I'm taking care of myself really well. So I'm even though I stand up all day, I'm peppy as I can be, and I enjoy myself to the fullest everywhere I go. I've walked all Disneyland nonstop and gone through each ride 2 or 3 times and still ask for more because I stayed healthy enough to do that. But I don't think I would have enjoyed myself as much had I been tired after the first round, or if I was desperately looking for somewhere to sit after a few hours. So stay fit, enjoy yourself, make yourself happy, but don't keep that wallet empty. Don't let this article confuse you or mislead you, thinking that you don't need money to feel, to be relieved of stress. Stress is always going to be there if you're broke, and I know for a fact I've been broke. I'll say that story for another day. Anyways, I thought this was a good read. Go ahead. Take a look if you get the chance. And then finally, on our last article for today, is the DOJ is angry at Trump. You keep tweeting things that you have no business tweeting, and you're making my job harder. But I wish he never stops. I hope he tweets forever. I've never been able to crawl into a president's head as much as I can into Trump's head. Doesn't matter if you like him or not. The fact that the leader of the United States is sharing his thoughts nonstop is unique. I put his dinner. He's having a dinner for almost $500,000 for a couple. I will never be able to afford that, and I don't think I would pay that much if I could afford it. Rather than paying that much for a dinner to get to know the president, I can just listen to his tweets day in and day out. That man loves to tweet, and I think that's a great thing. I wish all our senators tweeted as much. Not to trash each other or to bash as many people as Trump tends to do, but just to hear what they're thinking. I'm thinking about, voting on this. I'm thinking about voting on that. I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about that. I wish he uses that power for good in some cases, like the Hong Kong issues. They're not talking about it much, but his tweet made a big impact in their lives. What other option do you have? Either you listen to the man pour out his thoughts on a tweet, or you let somebody else translate what he thinks, and they'll tell you what you need to hear. I don't want a middleman telling me what I need to think or feel or hear, what I should be allowed to hear. No, I want to hear the raw source. I don't want to hear somebody's biased. Imagine trying to get all your information from somebody who loves a president, whether it's Obama or Trump, and they're telling you, they're twisting those words around and make them sound like sweet, sweet honey, as they tell you, oh yeah, what he said was this. This is what you need to hear. No, God, no. I want the honest truth. And whether it's blunt, it's rude, it's crass, whatever it may be, I want to hear it. I deserve to hear it. I am paying this man's salary. Not much of it, because he's only taking in $1. But I'm paying for all of these senators, and there's no such thing as government funded. All that is funded by us. We deserve to hear what our employees are thinking. And I like knowing who's getting fired before even the individual being fired knows. But he's the first one. He's the first one to do this as much as he does it. He's the first one going through the wand. The first one always gets bloodied. Obama did it slightly, but no, not to the extent that Trump does it. There's a lot of rules and a lot of courtesies that need to be buffed out, but basically, I like the fact that I can get my info directly from the source. I remember once they were talking about an arms deal, and they were talking about how can you do this, and he was very straightforward. He's like, oh yeah, they pay great, they pay in cash, of course we're gonna make that deal. And he blurts out information that you just feel like, damn, I don't think you should tell people that directly, but there was no harm in it, so I'm glad he told us. Some people weren't ready to hear the truth, but I'm glad he did. I'm glad he spoke up. I'm glad he laid it out as he did. So I hope that never stops. I support the man. I hope he continues on his not really support the man, but I support the man tweeting. So, and I hope he continues on his march towards whatever goals he has in mind. And I want to hear what all the other presidents and all the other candidates and all the other senators are thinking. I don't like this behind closed door, let me think and then surprise you at the last second with my change in vote. I want to hear what they think. There's nothing negative about information. The more the better. That's it for me tonight. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope you enjoy your Friday and your weekend. I'll probably be posting every day, so I hope you enjoy this new mic. I just got it. It's I don't know what brand, but it looked cool. So yeah. Thank you very much. Have a good night, and see you tomorrow. Good night.